Hey everyone, it's me, Tori. Okay, so we are talking about Julie. Julie is autistic and it's her first time away from home, away from everything she knows. So I'm gonna dive right in. So if I were Julie's classmate, as Julie's classmate, I would try to respond with understanding of her reaction rather than judgment. I honestly get really bad secondhand embarrassment, so um, and I also feel like I'm an empath, so I honestly would want to just try and make her feel better in that situation. So, you know, I would go after her maybe and have a conversation, let her know that it's understandable why she's frustrated, encourage her to talk to the professor. Because for a lot of autistic people, like routines and like predictability, right, are super important. And I don't know necessarily, had I been in that class, I didn't know as much about people on the spectrum as I do now. So, like now taking all of my knowledge, this is like a thing for people with autism. They want to have that structure. And when that structure gets shifted or moved, it's like a big deal. There's a lot of feelings about it. So, and if I were Julie's professors, I would try to de-escalate. Um, and I think it's important for professors to really understand their students, what levels everyone is on. If there are any kind of like special needs, that's something that an instructor should consider before, like jumping into the classroom. So I don't think as the professor I wouldn't focus on like her outburst, but the reason behind the outburst, and then just calmly explain like why I wanted to change the assignment and give the new expectations in writing, and maybe in the future kind of prepare that student more so that it doesn't become a disruption to the whole class. But I think that would also help, yeah, the rest of the classmates, right? Okay, sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. I think I would also, so moving on to the UDL principle, I think one of them I would use would be the action and expression. And one thing that I would consider is like in which form, I guess, someone can respond and express themselves. So like instead of having every student do the same assignment, the professor could give the class options for like a research paper, maybe the reflection paper, a presentation. And so like in some way it's meeting that learning objective. And then also could be a strategy for like there could be a strategy for like development and planning, right? Because writing instructions and examples and rubrics and like all that stuff, I think really helps students understand what to expect and how to navigate different changes. The CAS UDL guidelines, they encourage to like reduce barriers, and develop those like learning environments that are inclusive for everybody, even if they're on the spectrum or, whatever their needs are in the classroom. So I think Julie's reaction in the situation wasn't just about the assignment. I think it's more like just a reaction to stress, and like maybe like uncertainty now, right? Because things are switched around. So that can come with some difficulties. But if the professor were to like create that more predictable or flexible and supportive learning environment, I think that it would be better for students like Julie. And I think that that would reach more than just, the one student here and there that needs this, but I think like as a whole, everything becomes much easier. Anyway, thank you.